Okay, so red light is on. Jeez, it's been a long time since we've actually used this thing.
It's got dust all over it.
I know. Green bars are green barring.
Up and down,
Yep,
up
yep.
and down.
I hear you, you hear me. Okay, so it's August 2026. My name is Ryan.
I'm Will.
We are hospitality fanatics, experience enthusiasts, and longtime friends. This is the buddy podcast you didn't know that you needed. In this reboot, relaunch, and rebrand, Will and I talk about where we've been, where this show is going, and how we got here today. This is the new Pineapple Podcast. Let's go. We're back. Let's do this again.
Yeah, let's try this again.
Are we back, or is this new? Where are we? Is a reboot, a continuation?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. The multiverse.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that was even an episode that we had notes for stuff.
We did.
Will's word. And there was even a reboot, a relaunch, a sequel, a prequel.
I mean, we had enough stuff, and then it just kind of... I mean, we had several episodes worth of content. We just never...
And like 3 of actual recordings.
Yeah.
Leading up to this, I was thinking, it's been several months. Like it's been nearly a year since the last time we did this, and then I was thinking more. It's not been nearly a year, has it? It's been When is the last time we actually created content?
I believe it was 2021.
Okay,
it was post COVID, because we had started and then put it on hold, and then we became safe-ish to be around other people. We decided to do it again, and then life happened.
Yep,
and it was months turned into more months, turned into years,
like 5 years worth of life.
5 years,
which is almost kind of consistent with our friendship.
Yeah. The ebbs and flows.
Right. Since like 2004.
Yeah. So that was 22 years ago.
I employ people that are not as old as our friendship.
And how does that make you feel?
I am so old. At first, when I started as the department head of a team that's mostly 16 to 23-year-olds, and they would come into my office and they would ask me questions like non-work-related stuff, advice. It was endearing. I felt kind of this warm sense of, look, I'm getting to be a big brother. And then I did the math, and I'm not a big brother. I'm their dad.
You're their work dad.
Yeah. That's weird.
That is weird.
We had to put a quick stop when one of them actually... They would sometimes refer to me as Dad. Hey, go ask Dad something. Yeah. Then one of them accidentally slipped and it said, "Go ask Daddy." I'm like, no. We're not doing that one.
No.
No,
that's got HR violation written all over it.
100%. So yeah, life and years passed, and here we are. We used to have a studio.
Yes.
And today we're in my parlor of mysteries, the seance room adjacent to the cabinet of curiosities, which is all just words for sitting at my dining room table next to a bunch of my magic stuff. That, of course, now it's decorated for Halloween.
For Halloween.
'Tis the season.
Yep.
But we used to have a studio.
We did.
What happened? We got evicted. You evicted us.
I did. I got too much stuff in it, and I can't fit 2 people in there anymore. And I have a very loud cat who would not leave us alone if we were in there right now. And it would just take a lot to edit her out.
Understood. Yeah. Fortunately, Crypto the Superdog is content at the moment to just lay on the ottoman and sleep, which is what he used to do also when I was during COVID and I was working from home. And the original reason why I got this equipment so I could do online training, lead training from home on Zoom. And he would just lay next to me and fall asleep listening to me talk to people on Zoom.
Dogs are good at that.
Yeah. And then we actually started using it for the podcasting purpose that it was intended.
Yeah, finally. So let's take it back just a little bit, because you mentioned that this kind of ebb and flow over the years kind of mirrors our friendship. So let's kind of talk about how that started. So it's 2004, right? I was in college, and you had just graduated from college and were working there.
Correct.
And you had approached me to participate in a focus group.
Yes, because I at the Rosen College of Hospitality, at that time, the number one major, and probably still to this day, I'm betting, number one major was event management, which translated into everybody wanted to be a wedding planner, and it was mostly women. And every time, as an admissions professional there, every time that I was wanting to do something and get feedback from the student body, it was just a bunch of female event management, wedding planner majors. And I was given a specific directive from my director: go get some men to give you some input. We need to mix this up a bit.
So go look for all four of us.
Yep. That's pretty much all I found. And so I went for a walk and I found you and I said, hey, we're going to have a focus group and there's going to be free pizza. Come on over, give your opinion. You looked like a person that would share his opinion, and I wasn't
you weren't wrong. You weren't wrong, yeah.
And you're like, sure. And you signed up on the sheet. And I walked away and I looked at them thinking, yes, I got one. I looked at the sheet. I said, Will Rogers. I said, damn it. He put a bogus name.
Now let's be clear here for a minute, because there are probably people old enough or not old enough to know who Will Rogers was. So I'll just acknowledge that and give people a few seconds to Google that.
Mm-hmm. The second most famous Will Rogers.
Correct.
Yeah. I've done zero research to confirm that, but I
you don't have
like
to. It's
yeah.
It tracks.
Yeah. Now I would like to point out, doing this here in our studio, I do host you with only the finest of. I mean, and I'm not saying this facetiously. This is nice glassware that we are drinking Bacardi and Pepsi Zero out of, etched with the longitudes and latitudes. In fact, I'm mostly positive. I think you actually gave me these glasses.
Maybe, probably.
This looks like something that you would have gotten me. One of them is the longitude and latitude of Orlando, so a place where we've both lived. And the other one is the longitude and latitude of Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yes.
Where you lived.
Where I lived, and you have been many a time.
Many a times. And I think we've hung out a couple times in Vegas when you were still living out there.
Yep. And you were flying out, and whether it was a quick stop or a layover.
Yeah, and somehow, so you had moved out to Vegas for a few years. Like, so we spent time, very formidable years hanging out here in Orlando. Maybe probably about 3 or 4 years or so. And then
you moved.
I moved to Chicago.
Yep.
And I was up there for 6 years. And you'd gotten a job where you were a globetrotter. You were just all ends of the earth. And how long were you doing that?
Not quite 3 years. So 2 years plus, 38 states, 27 countries, just living out of a suitcase. It's about 20 to 25 days worth of travel a month.
That's a lot.
It was an insane pace, but definitely it was a great experience. It was fun for those 2+ years where my apartment was essentially nothing more than a climate-controlled storage
unit.
Right. Come home and unpack, do some laundry, pay some bills, repack, hit the road again.
And then after you did that for a few years, you got back home to Orlando, and then you were like, you know what? I'm going to move to China.
It eventually, right. I worked for Local Mouse and did that for, I guess, a little over a year here in Orlando, and then had the opportunity with the same mouse to go to China for 13 months. And then that ended, and I guess you were still in Chicago at the time.
I think so.
Okay.
I was in Chicago until 2014.
Yes. So you're still in Chicago at the time. Then my time in China ended, and there was no role for me to come back to with the mouse. So came back over, and I did a couple of different things briefly until I ended up with my current company, which sent me out to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. I mean, and there are worse places to be. And I think it's interesting, too, that you spent so much time, so many formidable years here in Orlando, a very hospitality and entertainment-focused city, and then end up in probably the only one that's better in Las Vegas.
They are so very similar, the two cities. The clientele, more or less, is similar. The entertainment offerings is similar. Vegas is so small compared to Orlando. Orlando, it takes 30 minutes minimum to get
out of your neighborhood.
Right. Yeah. Anywhere. Vegas, 30 to 45 minutes, you can be from one side of town clear to the other side of town, because you're surrounded by mountains. You can only go so far before you're out in the desert on your way to California.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely more manageable from that standpoint, from a geographic standpoint. But going back to the similarities, and it being a very hospitality-focused town, everybody thinks of Vegas, you think of the Strip, and nothing else exists out of the Strip. When you told me where you lived, the part of town you lived in, I was like, what is this? I didn't know that was a place. And it just happened to be a suburb that was, like a couple miles away from the Strip. There is an entire life, an entire culture, local culture of Vegas that has nothing to do with the Strip. And I feel that way with Orlando. I'm always having to defend Orlando, that it's not just a convention center and iDrive. It's not just the theme parks. There are great neighborhoods, great little adjacent towns and cities where we all live and play and have great meals and go out to see shows and basketball games and everything. But it kind of always lives in the shadow of, the theme parks and the attractions, just the same way that Vegas does with the Strip and all the entertainment and everything out there.
Well, as an Orlando resident, how often do you go to Disney?
Never.
And the same with Vegas. When the only time, well, okay, if somebody was coming, if family or friends were coming to visit you, and especially if it was like their first time in Orlando, you're probably going to, they want to go to Disney, and you're probably going to feel somewhat obligated to have to go to Disney with them, right?
I think a previous version of me would have felt obligated, but now I think it'd be like, go out and enjoy it. I'll buy you dinner later. Take you someplace local.
Okay. Oh, well, almost the same. In Vegas, we would, everybody that lived there try to do whatever they can to avoid the Strip. We'd even try our best to drive out of our way to not have to cross the Strip, unless people are coming to visit. Everybody wants to go to the Strip. They want to go to the casinos. They want to go see the shows. Some of the really cool celebrity restaurants. So it's kind of hard.
The girls with the feathers trying to get their pictures taken. Yeah, Strip.
There were always specific shows that if somebody was coming to visit, I would want to go. I would want them to experience that show. And since my wife was a concierge at the time, she had hookups with the tickets, either free or super discounted. So go see the free show, see the discounted show. The two things that I always wanted people to experience when they came to Vegas, the only times I ever really wanted to go to the Strip, I wanted them to see zombie burlesque, and I wanted them to eat at the Heart Attack Grill. There's so many better restaurants you could go to in Vegas, but every major city now has celebrity restaurants. The Heart Attack Grill is the kind of thing that could only happen in Vegas.
100%.
When you check in, and it's at probably one of the most touristy intersections. It's right there on Fremont and Las Vegas Boulevard. So the old part of the strip.
Old school.
Yeah. And when you check in, actually you weigh in before you go there. So I believe it's like maybe 350 pounds or something. If you were whatever the requirement, let's say 350, you eat for free. So they reward guests of size and appetite. And so when you check in, they put you into a hospital gown, and the nurses, servers escort you to the table. The menu, very simple. It's hamburgers and hot dogs, fries, onion rings, shakes, and soda. Very basic. But the burgers are ridiculous. You get a single, you get a double, you get a triple. You can get the octuple bypass. So something like 8 patties, 20 pieces of cheese, maybe 30 strips of bacon.
That sounds like that could be the last meal that you eat.
I think that is maybe the goal. I guess even bad publicity is good publicity.
What kind of insurance does this place have?
And then if you got wine, they'd bring you an IV bag on a pole, and you suck the wine through the hose.
Classy.
Hey, Vegas is classy. If you got a shot, it came in an actual syringe, actual shot. If you were, say, getting a rum and Coke, they would bring you your mixer, and then they bring you a giant pill bottle that's got the liquor in it, so you would actually mix your own.
Okay.
And the most notable thing there was whatever you order, you got to clean your plate. So assuming that I liked you, if I'm going to refer you to go have dinner at the Heart Attack Grill, I would warn you, order conservatively. Get a single. Get a plate of fries for the table. Everybody doesn't need their own plate of fries. And milkshakes are big. Because if you don't clean your plate, in the middle of the room, there's this big column. And there's TV monitors all around the room. A big column, and there's handrails on the column. And then there's a couple of webcams there. So if you don't clean your plate, the nurse will come and escort you to the column at the center of the restaurant, where you would have to hold on to the handrails, bend over, face in the camera, where we can all see you now. And they would get on a giant wooden paddle. Three whacks across your backside. I saw children cry because daddy was getting spanked. I've
and now daddy's probably laughing.
I saw grown men intentionally not clean their plate. So, again, it's a classy place.
And Vegas has something for everybody.
Right. And then the other show, Zombie Burlesque, it's many burlesque shows in Vegas, but a lot of them, it's kind of weird to say that a lot of burlesque shows are just boring.
Okay.
But they were. A lot of burlesque shows were boring, but this was and still is. It is still currently running. It's fun. It's kitschy. It's not your scary Walking Dead kind of zombies. This is like 1950s style, green skin, huge hair, and so very talented performers. Such amazing skill. And then, of course, there's a sexy element to it. One of my favorite numbers is a bottle of vodka and a box of Jell-O come dancing out onto the stage, and they fall in love. And that's
naturally,
and that's how Jell-O shots are born. And so the zombies would come out into the audience. They bring free Jell-O shots for everybody, freshly birthed.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that is when I would go to the Strip. And even still here in Orlando, there's times where I'm compelled. I need to go. Friends or family are in town. Okay, let's go to Disney.
Let's go grab dinner at Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. So you had your time in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I had moved back to Orlando for a few years, 2 or 3 years. And around that time, you were moving back to Orlando. And we ended up living very close together.
Okay,
unintentionally.
You sent me a text message. You're like, wait, my wife and I just moved into a townhouse. You sent me a text message. Hey, we're looking for a place. Do you know anything about this neighborhood? And you send me the address. And so I put it into my Google Map. I screenshot it, and I send it back to you with the 2 little pins. You were like the pop band, you were 3 doors down.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Literally 3 doors down.
Yes. Which was great for happy hour.
Oh, yeah. We just walk down the street with a bottle of wine or a 12-pack and then stumble back when we're done.
Yes. Yeah, because beneficially or deconstructively, your wife is great with hospitality, but that usually meant by the time my wife and I got there, your wife already has additional drinks ready. We already got one in one hand, and
it's anticipating guests' needs.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. Anticipate the needs.
Yeah. So we were neighbors there for a little bit. Then you bought a house, I bought a house, different sides of town, which meant we're not hanging out, we're not spending as much time together as we used to. But we somehow always ended up in environments that were very hospitality and entertainment focused. And which kind of brings us to where we are now, where it's like we've had 2+ decades, which kind of hurts to say, of friendship and being in this environment of hospitality, entertainment, having arts and entertainment backgrounds ourselves before getting into the industry, and having lived in a very hospitality and entertainment focused town, and then having the good fortune of having jobs and other opportunities that allow us to travel to a lot of places. I mean, you were all over the world. I spent a lot of time in Europe. I spent a lot of time, here domestically, going to other cities, especially out on the West Coast. Me having lived in Chicago for a little bit. We come back now with all these experiences and this new perspective that maybe makes us rethink about where we are now and what we appreciate about it, and maybe what we dislike about it too. But I think we also come back a little bit richer from like a personal fulfillment standpoint. I mean, definitely not financially, at least for me, because of the things that we've been able to see, the places that we've been able to go.
And definitely all those experiences in between, which we had kind of hit on this earlier when we were talking about bringing this back, because just like moving around and 2004 to now, and it's not uncommon for months or even years to separate us without separating us. Now that we're jumping back into this, it's not a reboot, it's not a restart, it's its own thing. But we did change one significant thing. We talked about what the direction was going to be. We met somewhere. I'm sure it was either food or alcohol.
I think there was Guinness involved.
Yes. Okay, we met at that bar. We met at that beer place, which that was an adventure in itself. Just trying to find the place.
It was an adventure for you.
Well, yeah, it was an adventure because who puts what's the name of that place? Where did we go?
Paddy Wagon
in Orlando. Who puts 2 of the exact same bar within 5 miles of each other? So I'm leaving work and I go, hey, Ryan, meet me at the Paddy Wagon. Okay, I'm on my way. I've never been there before. And so I head to the Paddy Wagon. I recognize, oh, dang, I actually have been here before. Once, long ago, came here for a viewing party. The place was packed because there's a retirement party for some Disney executive. So I find the only empty space all the way in the back. I find 2 bar stools. I'm going to sit there over in their corner. I was going to camp out and wait for you to get there and get a beer. And then you show up. You're like, Ryan, there's no retirement party here. In fact, I don't even see your car here. Like, nah, I'm here. You're not looking hard enough. I know there's a lot of cars, and maybe you missed my car.
Which is hard to do.
Right. And so I send you a picture. Like, hey, here I am. I'm at the Paddy Wagon, holding a beer. And that's when we discover that that's totally the wrong
location.
Yep. So throw that one back, get in the car, find you at the other patio wagon end, and that's when we discussed the direction for this. And what we wanted to talk about with regards to the experience, hospitality and experiences, and that hospitality is more than just the hotels and the restaurants, or even just the theme parks here in Orlando. It's the experience that it creates, and we kind of wanted to focus on that. But then we even talked about the show itself. We talked about Will's Word.
Mm-hmm.
So what was Will's Word? Because now we're not going by that anymore.
No, we're not. So Will's Word, all 2 episodes. Well, I mean, there were like more than that recorded, but the 2 that were distributed was just me taking a word to use as a topic or a theme, and then you and I would talk about that for a half hour or so. And then I realized, why would anybody care about what I want to talk about, and how do we distill it down to one word? So I thought, we could do better. And, I just sat on it, back burner for all these years. And then I was really getting an itch to do a podcast again, or something similar to that. And it just so happened that, you had reached out to me to see if we wanted to grab lunch. Mm-hmm. And, just typical conversation about catching up. Oh, hey, what's on your mind? Oh, I kind of wanted to do a podcast again. Oh, it's funny that you mentioned that.
Right. And so something that I had done, around the same time that we met in 2004, when I was working at the hospitality college, was creating these pineapple podcasts. It started very small. It started as a faculty member. I would do these pineapple posts because hospitality college, the pineapple is the symbol of hospitality.
It made sense.
Right. And okay. All right. And then I learned, evidently, pineapple also has another. Now,
but
yes.
You're talking about a right side up pineapple.
Right. See, it wasn't. I had always embraced the pineapple. Hospitality, pineapple.
Just embrace it right side up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well,
other ways. I mean, I'm not just
That's different hospitality,
strokes,
right? It was. I think it was a cruise. It was a cruise that we discovered. My wife and I would commonly decorate our door on cruise ships. Those are metal doors, and it's very trendy. You can either purchase magnetic things to put on your door or create your own. And we would do something for the door, either specific to the occasion or just whatever. And one year we had customized pineapple magnets on our door. And within maybe a day or 2 into the cruise, our pineapple magnets were stolen.
Oh.
Right. It was a pineapple thief. And I didn't really understand then why, of all the previous cruises or all the different decorations, why only did somebody want to steal our pineapples. And then I learned the secret reason. Well, it's not so secret. It's a whole culture of the upside down pineapple. Now, again, I've done no in-depth research about this because I don't need that cluttering up my browser.
Oh, that'll mess up your algorithm right there. Yeah.
Right. But my theory is maybe ship's crew decided, no, we'll need you advertising that on your door. And so ship's crew might have taken away our pineapples. Or maybe a little bit more likely, it was some other guess.
I think they were probably upside down on the door to cabin 469.
Yeah, you may be right.
I think that's what happened. Or a betting man. That's where my money would be. So, to your question, so here we are. We decided to reboot the podcast.
Yep. Pineapple
or
podcast.
Revisit, whatever. And so we're kind of taking some of the ideas of Will's Word, but baking it into, how our experiences and our growth over the years has been a direct result of hospitality, not necessarily because we're in the industry, but also the hospitality that we have experienced in all of our travels and all of our, experiences over the past 2 decades. So it made sense to rebrand this with something that, was tied to hospitality.
And I think here's what I want. Here's what I want to see. With the hospitality, with our access to so many experiences, both here or out, my travels, I'm not traveling nearly as much as I was, but you're flying places all the time. I want to see a focus on those new experiences. Something different, something that what makes that one restaurant different? You've really not been to any conventions. You've been to some industry conventions, but for example, you've never been to MegaCon here in Orlando, correct?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm a little intimidated, to be honest.
You and I did go to some of the other industry things, like we went to Surf Expo long ago. You joined me for IAPA last year, but so
the most fun by far.
Absolutely. Things like that. Tis the season for spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Pumpkin Spice is going to be out within days, which means all the other Halloween things. So we need to go all in on some of these experiences, whether it's homework assignments for each of us. Hey, Will, go check out this thing. Ryan, go check out this thing. We plan some group outings, bring along the esposas, go do something, whether that's the more mainstream Halloween Horror Nights. What's the one at Busch Gardens and SeaWorld? What's that called?
Busch Gardens, Hollow Scream.
Hollow Scream, yes, yeah, and they're both now. It's Hollow Scream at both locations, or maybe some of the smaller, more local haunts like the Petrified Forest and Sir Henry's and Screamageddon, which Screamageddon that's.
I want to sign the waiver.
They don't even let you in without the waiver. You want to wear the necklace.
I want to wear the necklace.
Wear the necklace that tells the people inside the haunted houses that you're down for whatever, and they will
down for whatever.
Pull you out of the line and put you in a totally separate house, and then we bring those experiences back.
Yeah, and in addition to just reflecting on the experiences that we've already had, here and abroad, and also just even smaller things at home too, just like maybe the random Tuesday evening at the East End Market, or going to Domu, or whatever comes along.
Well, we got a list that we need to make. Get those experiences, bring it back to the dining room table until the studio becomes accessible again.
Yeah, or maybe it doesn't have to be. Maybe we could just hang out here with the daylight and crypto. And
I do. I dig the vibe.
Yeah,
and also I'm not really entirely certain that the decor is going to come down after Halloween anyway.
Well, no judgment here. No. Yes, next time you hear our voices in your ears, we will have a list of some places that we have experienced here, and we'll talk a little bit more about things that we've done that have gotten us to this point.
All right. Okay. Till next time.
33 minutes. That was perfect.
Yeah.